Morrell Similar has been part of the Fairburn Fire Department for about 20 years now. This structure fire right behind me is probably the worst he's ever seen. Reaction seen on these kids' faces after receiving one of these fully stocked backpacks is more than money could ever buy. Over 400 plungers were freezing for a reason at this year's Polar Plunge. The goal? To raise over $100,000, and they're confident that they did. Press Start is closing the gap between generations. It's actually steering that younger generation to enjoy what their parents once played. Well, I would have asked the Buffalo if this myth was true or not, but they respectfully declined to answer. I think it's safe to say that this myth has been busted. In Custer State Park, Brent Wise, KOTA Territory News. Yesterday, a 23-year-old deputy of the Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office was laid to rest. Deputy Stephen Majeski died suddenly on the job Tuesday while on the 24/7 desk. Efforts to revive him were unsuccessful. About 10 minutes ago, we had a person carried out into an ambulance just right behind me. You can see there's a red car that collided with the train. Now, this happened at Radar Hill Road and Highway 1416. That's about a quarter of a mile from where we are right now, so that's about how far the car was carried by the train to this location. Now, we do have a tow truck on hand right now, as well as Highway Patrol. We had search and rescue here, Box Elder, and Rapid City Emergency Services that were here to help and assist in any way they can. We did speak with the Highway Patrol officer that said there was one person in the car. That was the person that was transported, but there's been no other reports besides there's serious injuries at this time. We'll keep you updated as we find out more. Mike? Well, we visited 2 locations in Rapid City taking part in a possum time. Dogs were going nuts at Gordman's, with their owners receiving free pet scoops and reusable bags. Guests could also register for an hourly gift card raffle, or as the dogs like to call it, a ruffle. But if you didn't make it out today, Gordman's is asking that you put out a paw to help out a nonprofit organization through their Give for Goodness Sake campaign. A poll released on Friday shows Congresswoman Kristi Noem up 11 points ahead of Attorney General Marty Jackley in the race for governor. The poll, conducted by an outside agency, says Noem has 44% support while Jackley has 33%. The possible margin for error is 3%. Jackley campaign manager Justin Gold says the poll is fake. According to him, Noem's campaign manager Justin Brassel has a long history with the company who released the poll. In a press release issued Friday, Gold is, quote, saying Congresswoman Noem is a little late with her April Fool's joke. Mike, just about an hour ago, Carlos Covedo was sentenced to 90 years in prison after starting the sentencing at 8:30 this morning. Before the sentencing, the judge said, quote, there's absolutely no clear winner today. Now, he will be eligible for parole at age 45, which is the same age as Casey Lord was when she died. There were rumors about this threat amongst the students for the past 2 weeks. Now, today I did speak with the administration and law enforcement about what happened and why parents didn't know until late last night. Good evening, I'm Brent Wise, and Merry Christmas Eve to you. Shortly after 5 p.m. last night, a 54-year-old man was killed in a head-on collision. The man was driving southbound on Highway 16 when he missed a curve and crossed the center line. 3 people were in the other vehicle. The driver has serious life-threatening injuries, while the 2 passengers received minor injuries. The South Dakota Highway Patrol is still investigating whether or not either driver was wearing a seatbelt. Well, the YMCA is offering something new, and no, it's not a new YMCA dance. They have a new membership geared towards the after hours. The Night Owl membership is designed for people who want access to the Randy Travis Wellness Center when the YMCA is traditionally closed. Night Owl membership costs $15 a month and the joiner's fee of $25. Members will receive a key fob that will grant them access on the 9th Street side of the Y. During the Night Owl hours, members have access to the Randy Travis Wellness Center, the Zone, and the lower level restrooms. The main YMCA facility, however, will be closed. The Teammates Mentoring Program broke the huddle with 22 football players and currently impacts thousands of youth in Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and Wyoming. Now they're looking for a South Dakota touchdown.
We started with some football players back in 1991, and we're currently expanded quite significantly. We're mentoring about 8,500 kids in 160 school districts. It's school-based, and once a week in the school. Most of our meeting occurs over a lunch period, study halls, sometimes PE periods. We know it works, and so it's been very powerful. It's a one-to-one school-based mentoring program, and So we'll see if we can generate some interest in starting teammates up here in this area.
After starting off their drive at the prayer breakfast Thursday morning, Coach Osborne called an audible, visiting with youth at the Western South Dakota Juvenile Services Center. He was trying to get their head in the game.
I'm just going to look them in the eye and kind of see where they are and what kind of response, and probably talk to them about a former player or two that I've had that have had some trouble and how they've tried to resolve that, some of the decisions they've made. And there's no situation that's hopeless, and there is always hope.
The commander of JSC calls to the coach to guide these kids to victory. He hopes those who heard the play can eventually score a touchdown.
The choice you make doesn't have to define you, that you can make a different choice and lead a productive life, because we need productive people in our country. And just because you make a poor choice that brings you to a juvenile center doesn't have to define you later in life. Something that he might say today might impact something that they're going to take away and remember the rest of their life. So I think that it was very beneficial to have him come.
In Rapid City, Brent Wise, KOTA Territory News. On average, 22 military vets commit suicide in the United States each day. Up to 20% of the veterans of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars have been diagnosed with PTSD. I met up with one Air Force veteran who suffers from PTSD to see how he's helping others living with the same issue through an organization called Mission 22.
You see things and you do things over there, and it replays in your mind over and over and over again. It never really goes away.
Memories playing in his head. Memories he can't shake. Memories of his best friend dying.
Roadside bomb exploded, and my friend Carl, unfortunately, was in the truck that it had exploded. His loss was something that hits me hard. I was responsible for him. It was my job to make sure he came back. And him not coming back, something's haunted me quite a bit.
In his time with the Air Force, Cooper was deployed to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iraq, and Afghanistan.
It was just like going up and down on a roller coaster. It was all, there was days you could feel every kind of emotion possible. Some days just happiness, some days nothing but sadness.
Cooper left the war, but was still in a battle. This time, he was fighting himself.
You feel so just hopeless, worthless, broken, unlovable. You find yourself wondering, would everybody else's life be better if you weren't here?
Cooper was nearly one of the 22 veterans a day that commit suicide.
There were times where I'd held a gun in my hand. You know, I pointed at it and I sat there and looked at it, thinking, I can end all this pain, I can end all this suffering, the flashbacks that never go away, the nightmares that wake me up at night will go away.
But now he has a different perspective on life. He's using every day to help other veterans going through the same thing he goes through.
I'm part of an organization that helps veterans who are going through the same things that I'm going through. And talking to them and helping them out makes it a lot easier.
And his mission is not over yet.
If I can make it through those darkest, hardest days of my life, I can make it through anything.
Now, if you'd like to donate to Mission 22, the Rush is donating proceeds on Wednesday the 15th, Chuck a Puck. If you attend the Rush game on the 16th of March, they will also have auctions and other activities where you'll be able to donate to Mission 22 as well.